again, we invite you to grab a sandwich or some cold drinks. I'm happy to see the crowd here. I'm not sure if you're all here for the meeting, or just the sandwiches or the cookies, but I'm glad that you're all here. This is crunch time, folks. This is the opportunity for us to do some final responsibilities as we approach two major events, one on June 14th, and of course on our parade day, which is scheduled for July 12th. But before we call the meeting to order, I did want to thank each and every one of you and do some introductions, because we got some faces here tonight for the benefit of the TV. And thank you, ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for covering our meeting. Very much appreciated. And Fred and Joan, we thank you for hosting our meetings on the fourth Tuesday of each month. We appreciate it. Let's go around the table, and Ken, I'm going to start with you. Introduce yourself and give your responsibility on the committee, and look at the camera and smile.
You wanted to give him the mic, go around. You want me to smile?
We don't have microphones on the tables. We have a cordless tonight. We're going to have to pass it down.
Ken Michael, member of the committee, utility player.
Craig Barger, Select Board Representative.
Rob Goodrich, Easton Lions. We pitch in where and when needed.
Piper Jornalis. I designed the Easton 300 logo and help out with some graphic stuff.
Vince Jornalis. I'm the husband of the person who designed the logo and a volunteer helper.
I'm Jeanette Camara. I'm the treasurer.
Linda Tracy Clifton. I'm on the parade committee.
Roz Miller. I am secretary of the Tricentennial Committee and secretary of the parade committee.
Diane Lusardi, secretary.
Lisa Braxton. I'm on the anniversary book committee.
Ken Wood, I'm the chairman for the manpower and for the transportation and a few other things.
Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, member of the subcommittee.
Dale Carrister, Vice Chair in Community Outreach.
Joe Pitti, Deputy Director for Health and Community Services, not actually part of the committee, but helping hand.
Corey Ahonen, Parade Committee Chair.
Sean Dugan, Assistant Town Administrator for the Town of Easton.
Joan Lundgren, committee member, and was on the April 26th event.
Fred Ames, honorary co-chair.
Anne Marie Tanner, co-chair of the kickoff event, gala, and merchandise.
Amanda Hurley, co-chair. What she said, ditto, just like Vince.
Sally Zussman, I'm helping out with the community calendar and the website.
Karen Hetzel, volunteer for many things.
Tom Hetzel, same as what she said.
Al Provost, Corey's hitman.
Jessica Zimmerman, Tricentennial Picnic Coordinator.
Craig Lepro, Parade Committee.
One of our first responsibilities is to approve the minutes of our May 6th meeting. People on our committee have received copies of the minutes, and we thank our secretary, Diane. Any questions, any comments? Would someone like to make a motion to approve our minutes of May 6th?
So moved.
We have a motion by Dale, seconded by Diane. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried, and the minutes of May 6th have been approved. Our first responsibility, usually on the agenda, is to get a chair report and a vice chair report. Well, Dale and I are going to do this together. First thing we want to do is to thank some people. And there's a lot of people that have done done things above and beyond. And sometimes we get so busy that we forget those people that we want to thank, and I'm blaming myself for that. But I did want to, even though I think we all understand, we wanted to thank Fred and for the use of the hall. And Joan, we wanted to thank both you and Diane as co-chair of the Cultural and Art Festival. We didn't have the best of weather, but what a job we did just getting people together. We had a good turnout, and I think it's something that we'll always remember, so thank you very much. Well, that ends our meeting for tonight. We thank you for money, Jay. Go ahead, Diane.
Can we add a thank you to that? I know Joan and I want to thank all the volunteers who came in that horrendous day. A lot of people stood outside at 7 o'clock in the morning, and
6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock, sorry about that, Jessica. Jessica, 6 o'clock in the morning, and stayed for the day. And it really was a good event, but we couldn't have done it without everybody who worked so hard. And this merchandise people are exceptional. I could go on and I won't, but thank you to everybody. It was
Well
really
said.
made life easy.
Thank you.
We have some other thank yous. I'm going to pass this over to Dale.
Yeah, I want to echo the thank you at the Arts and Cultural Festival. I went myself, and there were rivers of water literally coming down in front of the rockery, and yet there was the food tent, which I very much enjoyed, no surprise, and the outside art tent. So you guys prepared and pivoted. You were ready to go. It was awesome. But speaking of pivoting, also wanted to thank the Lions for the Easton Lions Celebration of Easton's History event that was also held here in the hall on the 17th of May. What a fantastic event it was. It was standing room only, so there was about 120, 130 people here. And speaking of pivoting, the Lions originally were planning on doing this a paid dinner, $40, and then ultimately pivoted to realize that it made more sense doing this as a free event, so they provide appetizers, desserts, and Ken brought the historical boards, which were awesome, along with some military uniforms and other artifacts. And we have fantastic speakers, starting off with Ed Hands doing 10,000 years of Easton's history in 20 minutes. He really did. He did start about 10,000 years ago, I think. And then followed by Ken, who did a great presentation about Easton's commitment to military service. And then followed by Bill Ames, who I knew, as I mentioned this to Fred afterwards, how much the family has done for this town. But boy, did I learn a lot more about the legacy of the family that's contributed to this town, how fortunate we all are. And then Rob did a presentation about the history of the Lions. Yeah, let's give a round of applause for these.
And while we're thanking people, certainly we want to thank Ken Michael, when he put together some historic events. And the one that stands out is the groundbreaking event in conjunction with the Garden Club. So let's put our hands together for Ken. One of the things that Dale and I talked about for this meeting is to concentrate on the upcoming events. The first one is June 14th. It's going to be the salute to the flag, a terrific flag ceremony with a flyover. We also have a community picnic that will take place at 5 p.m. The flag ceremony starts at 4. It's all going to be at the high school complex. We're still recruiting volunteers for it. The concert goes from 7 to 9 p.m. and then we have the fireworks going off at 9 p.m. And it's been a long time since the town's had fireworks, but we're excited about it. And we wanted to concentrate tonight on making sure that those two events, we go into a little bit of detail. So I'm going to ask some of the coordinators. But before we do that, and while we're thanking people, I want to thank Sean, the Assistant Town Administrator. He is bent over backwards to do what he can to help the committee. He's been with us since the start. And Connor, his boss, can't be everywhere. And Sean has filled in nicely. So let's put our hands together for Sean. Now, the flag ceremony, and we're hoping we get a good crowd there, it's gonna be at 4 p.m. Today, a bunch of us met with the police chief, the DPW director. We met with their staff, and we talked about the upcoming events and what our costs are. We had a finance committee since the last time you met in Jeanette's office. I called the finance committee, Dale, myself, Ken, Courtney Pupkin, and of course our treasurer, Jeanette. We had a chance to go over the books and take a look at how much we've spent, where we stand, and try to figure out whether or not we got enough to finish. And besides talking with department heads, we think we're going to reach our goal, and we're not going to go overboard. And we've got some outstanding events coming up. It's almost $80,000 just for the June 14th event. But we're going to be able to get there, and we're excited about it. Jen, anything you want to say about our meeting? Okay. All right. What I'd like to do right now, I know that Adam Gunn, who's going to be the coordinator and is the coordinator for the salute to the flag. When the flyover comes over, it's an opportunity for us, and I say this to the folks watching, to not only salute all the veterans in the town, but to salute the town of Easton in celebrating 300 years. We've come a long way since we started planning this celebration, and we're still here, and to see the crowd that we have this evening, I think everybody knows it's crunch time. And we've been very successful with the events that have been held, and I think we're going to do likewise with the events that are coming up. The flag ceremony starts at 4. Adam Gunn has put together a program. He's got speakers. He's got a master of ceremonies. We thank Craig Lepro for arranging for the flyovers. We got 2 flyovers, one for the flag ceremony, and the other one is going to be for our parade as it comes up Pond Street. The flag ceremony, we're going to give away 1,500 flags to the people that arrive. We're also going to have 3 major flags coming in that takes about 25 or 30 people to hold. We got a band that's going to be there, a 42-piece band. They're going to play music from 3:30 to 5:30. The picnic starts at 5. And we're going to have some speakers. Not a lot of speakers, but we're looking forward to the chair of our select board speaking. And of course, we got a master of ceremonies who's a radio star who is going to join us. And he's already been going over the script, and it's going to be terrific. I hope that all of our committee members and all of our volunteers will be there to join us. For all the volunteers that are not here, we have a special treat for them to thank them for what they're doing. And again, it's all been donated. It's all gratis. And people know when I knock on their door that I'm asking for people to cooperate and to participate. So I'm going to ask our parade coordinator, parade coordinator. I just promoted you. She's going to handle the picnic, and she has been working behind the scenes to pull this together. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, Jessica, I'm going to pass the mic over to you so the people at home can hear as well.
Hi, I'm still going to sit down though. So the picnic starts at 5 o'clock. So as Dave was saying, to clarify, the Flag Day celebration starts at 4. That's happening up on the football field. From 4 to 5, we'll have the master of ceremonies speaking and all that good stuff. And the Flag Day celebration. 5 o'clock starts the picnic. There'll be food trucks available, as well as bounce houses and a DJ for live entertainment, a musical bubble barge. There'll be lots for kids to do. From 5 to 8, those activities will be happening, and the band will start at 7. So we'll shut the DJ down so that way the band is playing from 7 to 9. What else do you want me to tell them about?
What do you need help with?
Questions?
Oh, so we're gonna need lots of volunteers for the day of. There was talk today about something being able to go out to the public, to let you know page, that's something I'm gonna need help with. And all the information to get out to the public is definitely something that my committee will not be handling. The water situation is something that my committee is gonna need help with. How much of this do you want me to go into? Okay. Thank you. It'll be a great day.
Any questions anybody has they'd like to ask?
So the water is still, the issue of the water station is still up in the air?
So today the DPW told us that we needed 80,000 ounces of water at the, 80,000 ounces of water at the picnic.
All right, did you talk to Craig Davidson about the water source?
So there was somebody at the DPW who did mention a water source, yes. And then there's questions of donations of bottles of water. Again, a lot of what ifs.
We've got two bottle companies that are going to make donations, whatever we need for water. We're going to be using it for the parade. We're going to be using it on June 14th for the celebration. And it's going to be delivered, and we're going to have to, I know CERT's going to help us with the water for the parade route. But we're going to be working on the water to make sure that the events could be warm. Question?
Jessica, I have a question. I heard from the band, The Reminiscence. They're going to start at 7 p.m. They want to know the exact location to unload, the exact location, need a map of where they're going to set up.
So they're going to be setting up near the access road.
Okay, but they want a map. Do we have everything mapped out?
Sure, we'll get them a map. Yep.
If you get it to me.
No problem. Yep.
Thank you.
That'll be delivered tonight. No.
Immediately.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we're going to move on to the parade scheduled for July 12th. We have our parade coordinator here. We have members of the parade committee here. And of course, they've been working pulling this parade together, and it seems to multiply. Putting the parade lineup together, the committee has to constantly change it, but that's a good thing.
Hey Dave, before we do that, Joe wanted to talk a little bit about one of the events for June 14th and one of the features for it, if you may.
Sure. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, just before, since we're still on June.
Hello, everybody. Again. My name is Joe Petty. I'm the Deputy Director for Health and Community Services for the Town of Easton. Very happy to be here. I've been lucky enough to attend a few of your meetings in the past, helping with some of the merchandising equipment. Today I wanted to talk to you all about century-friendly tent at some of your signature events. I brought a handout, in case you may not be familiar, with century-friendly tents, ways to make your events and activities a little bit more friendly for folks who may have kids or family members that have disabilities, maybe on the autism spectrum, may have issues, or need assistance self-regulating themselves in large crowds or in loud environments. With the help of House of Possibilities, we were able to identify some resources, some staff that might be willing to volunteer to attend some of the signature events to make all the Tricentennial signature events a bit more inclusive. Not that you all are exclusive, but to elevate and sort of have this as an offering. House Possibilities has 2 or 3 staff members they'd be willing to allocate to some of these throughout the year. I'm not sure of how they would approach scheduling. My team, as many of you know, is a bit lean. There are 2.5 of us, but there's some initial interest as well in helping out with that. I believe Dale mentioned before there may be some volunteers to help run these tents. To give an overview of what goes on, so essentially this is a carved out space where there are resources, there are sort of sensory reduction items that we have for kids or adults that might need to sort of reset before they get back involved in the event. It'd be a tent that's covered on 3 sides to eliminate more visual sensory. We would have headphones that my department already owns and used in past sensory-friendly events. We'd have things like fidget spinners, sensory-friendly bins that are sort of tactile and kids can play with to self-regulate and sort of steer their attention more to that versus the crowds and whatever may have set them on the wrong trajectory. I'm happy to answer any questions folks may have. I hope that provided sort of an overarching...
At the June 14th event?
It's more of an offer to the committee for the sensory-friendly events, or excuse me, for the signature events that you all have. My department, as well as House of Possibilities, is willing to attend as many of them as we realistically can.
Is there a cost associated with the tent?
If you would like to pay us, we'll take it. No, but it's just out of the goodness of our heart.
And if I may, Joe and I were talking earlier about the volunteers for staffing of it, and Jessica and I believe Michelle set up a sign-up genius for the June 14th event, so everybody should have received an email that has the link for that. It's very, very easy to go on there to sign up, and you guys did an awesome job in organizing all of the different shifts for the different functions, whether it's helping out with parking or particular tents and so forth on that. So I think what we'll need to do is add one for the sensory-friendly tent, so you probably need 2 people per shift for that as well.
So the sensory-friendly tent is definitely happening for the June?
I think we should. I think there's no reason not to, because you could see where this would come in handy for a lot of folks who might otherwise get a little bit overwhelmed by some of the, with the music and so forth on this. And it also sends the message for one of our major signature events, a welcome to all of our community. And House of Possibilities does fantastic work. So we should just, I think, add like 2 people per shift as a separate volunteer slot on the Sign Up Genius. And for those who got it, spread that around on Facebook too, because we need to get as many folks as possible. And Diane, I don't know if you've also redistributed that to all the volunteer email list as well.
I will.
So yeah, we should send that Sign Up Genius to everybody as well.
So how many volunteers do you need for the tent?
2 people per?
Yeah, I would say 2. It would be very helpful for not just this event, but other events if you were to welcome us back, to have things identified to align marketing so that House of Possibilities and other groups that are part of sort of a disability action group in the community can share out with their professional networks and their personal networks set times that you'd want folks there, as well as exact locations for item drop-off, point of contacts for any events, anticipated attendance to the best of your ability, and then if we would be able to drop off any of these items in advance or what we would need to bring day of. None of those are answers I need at this very moment, but just so I can collaborate or connect with the point of contact at House of Possibilities, just to make sure we're all on the same page and providing the service that we're hoping to.
So Joe, at this point, you don't have a location yet, right? This is
Correct,
new.
it's the first I've heard.
Okay, so you need to work with Jessica to figure out where the tents can be, given all the other.
Right, and I'm also assuming that you need it away from noise, like where it's a sensory-friendly tent.
Yeah, so,
positioned in a way.
yeah, just to make it clear that this was me coming here and proposing to the board to make sure that you all were willing to accommodate us and have this offering there. Thank you. So we're happy to be there. I think your logic tracks that being sort of in the center of the action may not make the most sense, but still in a place where folks could see this and understand that it's there if they do need it. Joan had mentioned before a map of a facility. I don't know if that's something you plan to do for other events, but maybe posting in a sort of marketing approximate location where folks could find a tent like this at this event and future ones.
So are you the contact person to figure out where the tent's gonna go? Like, who's the action person?
Yeah, so it would be myself and Abby Law from House of Possibilities. We respectively may not be the people on site for each of these events, but I'm hoping we'll be in charge of the staff that will be.
Everybody generally in favor of this?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it'd be a great idea.
Can I make a suggestion? Maybe we get a big sign made that you can use one of the tent, the parking sign.
The leaning one.
Yeah.
The leaning
Oh,
to
like
the
a sandwich board, thank you.
Giant
Maybe we could get a sign made for like a sandwich board that tells people where to go, or just, sensory tent ahead or something like that. So we put it where people can see it at the event, and then it's just maybe
It's a great question. So there would be a handful of items that would need to stay with the tent. They're my department's property. They would be House of Possibilities property in some cases, but we would purchase some items that we know would walk away. You know, dollar fidget spinners, things like that, that people can take and go on their way.
And if I may, just also on, while we're still on June 14th, one of the items we discussed at the meeting that we had today with Jessica and Craig and the folks from the town was the publicity and getting the word out about the June 14th event. So Sean and I and some others are going to coordinate on getting the messaging out to people in terms of letting them know what the traffic flow will be, what the road closures will be, where there is parking, where there is not parking, and so forth. And this item would be something that would be helpful for us to kind of get out. So we'll try to distribute internally a draft of that first. And then Sally, we can kind of coordinate with you on the website team about then getting that messaging out. So maybe we'll do like a separate flyer that has some of this with a visual depiction, you know, where things are going to be located, and also some bullet points for people to know where they can park, not park, and so forth.
Thank you, Joe, for joining us. Good idea, and it seems like the committee's in favor of it. The next item on the agenda would be the parade, scheduled for July 12th. Corey Ahonen joins us, and he's been working with the parade committee since we began. There's a number of people on our committee that are taking an active part. They meet again tomorrow evening, and again, it's crunch time. Take it away, Corey.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the sandwich and opportunity to come here and talk to you yet again about the Tricentennial Parade. It is living up to the hype of being the biggest parade we've seen in Easton. Just to start off, we've got it'll start on July 12th, which is a Saturday. No rain day, rain or shine. 10 a.m. start time, and if you're in the parade, you'll be lining up at 9 a.m. And if you're in the parade, you'll receive instructions and know before you go from me and our committee. The parade will line up at the corner of Short and Center Street to begin at 10 a.m. and will proceed down Center Street. We'll have a pass and review stand at the Easton DPW with water stations and portable restrooms along the way. Some bleachers strategically located in certain areas for folks to congregate and enjoy the parade. The parade will then take a right turn onto Main Street and will begin to dissipate right around Pond Street area, where some folks, depending on the vehicle they're driving, will choose to go straight and continue onto Main Street. Some folks will go down Pond Street. Some folks will step on the sidewalk and turn around and get picked up. And we'll have shuttle buses picking up participants, bringing them back to the staging locations that we have. And as far as spectators, we recommend that you obviously obey all traffic rules and regulations, but park safely in any of the neighborhoods, don't block any driveways, and also can park at Olive Ames Easton School Complex and can receive a ride from one of our shuttle buses to Center Street area, one of the locations. We've got a very impressive lineup. It's over 110 groups that are involved in participating, so that could mean marchers, walkers, Clydesdales, Aleppo Shriners. We've got over 7 bands from traditional American marching bands traveling from out of state, local, to more modern rock, modern music bands that will be performing that you don't traditionally see in a parade. So trying to pull out all the stops, bring some cool different things than we've seen in the past, and we have a special surprise professionally designed float that you'll have to come to see. And we have a number of other locally designed homemade floats that the community's gotten together that I'm sure will be very impressive as well. And yeah, it's just, 6 years of doing Veterans Day and Memorial Day parades. I feel very confident that we're gonna have a great show and a great turnout here on this date. We just gotta hope for the weather. So at this point, the committee meets tomorrow. We're meeting bi-weekly. We may increase that here depending on what we need. But we are finalizing a guide for participants and finalizing some plans for communication day of, public safety, town officials, and just grateful for all the support. And I think we're in a really good place. I want to thank the committee But before I make a point of that, I want to make sure I mention that, so this parade is sponsored by the Haynes Group. We've got a few other generous donors that have helped out along the way. And yes, much thanks to the parade committee, very much appreciated. My couple pizzas I bought the other night don't make up for the hard work you've all put in. But we're going to be smiling and remembering July 12th as a day that, you know, it was worth all the work. So with that, I'll take any questions, and if I left anything out, just feel free to ask. Ken?
Just about the start point,
Yes.
Short Street, Center, like a little,
So if you're on Center Street,
yeah,
all right, you're on Center Street coming from the monument,
yeah,
you get to a point where Short Street, you can take a right on Short Street.
yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start staging there, because it's a rather long
So
parade
you're
route.
gonna stage on Short Street?
No, we're gonna stage on Center
On
Street.
Center, okay, I got it.
Yes, yeah, it's just, you know, we're not worried about shortening the parade a little bit. It's already, what was it, over 1.5 miles?
No, I was just wondering about
I got you.
everybody in line, that's what I was asking.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So the line's gonna be extending essentially from the center school towards Main Street, on Center Street.
If you could picture it like this might be, the way my mind's picturing it is, from Short Street, that's the lead vehicle, and every vehicle's behind that
That's
vehicle.
exactly what I'm saying.
When you get to the monument, there's a break in the traffic so that Depot Street never has to close due to the volume of traffic. And across the street, you have Porter that loops around Center School to School Street. You know, we explored other options like using Center School.
No, it's clear, you know, I was a little confused when you said.
Yeah, it's a little clunky back there to, you know, if someone's in their vehicle or out of their vehicle or ran to go get something and, you know, the parade has to go on. So we, you know, the advice was to stage as if we're already in the parade, so.
So have we done the permitting for road closures yet, or is that coming up in June?
So I attended the select board meeting. Cinco de Mayo. I requested the closure, and then I spoke with Chief Boone regarding details, and he said he's speaking with Metro to finalize. Did you have any?
I don't have anything extra on that, but.
Does that answer your questions?
We had talked the other day about porta potties and knowing where that might end up. Have you guys figured out where the staging?
Yes, thank you. So we have a map that is on the flyer. It's going to be put out on social media. We're going to canvass as much as we can. But the map has little symbols of portable restrooms on it. It's got little like water bottle symbols where you can find water. So
Where at the end of the road is that? I think you'll have a cluster or somewhere.
yes, so
One street being so narrow.
there'll be a large cluster at the beginning of the parade where folks are staging, drinking coffee and water, getting ready to do this thing. And then there will be some in the middle at the DPW near the pass and review stand. And then at the end of the parade, we figured this is strategically the best places to put these things. And yes, so, and as far as Pond Street goes, absolutely agree. It can be narrow for some vehicles. But folks, you know, if they're safely operating their vehicle. No.
We were talking about that before, like, is it an
What was did you communicate about the official location? Or do you want to take that? Thank you.
We have a total of 11 porta potties. I went to the Mansfield parade and they had 8. Nobody had 50 or 100. We felt that it's a 2-hour to 3-hour parade at the most, so people aren't going to be there all day. And I think that the porta potties, there are going to be some set up at the Center Street School, and there are going to be some at the DPW in the middle of the parade, and there are going to be some downtown on the main street, and we're going to work that out with DPW in terms. Yeah.
Was about where at the end point that was going to go, because that was a point that we hadn't figured out. And if we were changing the location, we talked about potentially changing to Sullivan Ave. I'm not sure if that was ever discussed, but I just wanted to make sure if you were amending the road closure, that we do that before in advance.
I think Craig made a good suggestion about going down Sullivan Street once you take a right on Main Street. But our concern at the parade committee group was to make sure that we went through the center of the main street where the stores are, the merchants. We feel like we owe it to them to make sure the parade goes by there. What's the street before Pond Street.
Mechanic?
Mechanic Street. We thought that we could use Mechanic Street and Pond Street. Pond is kind of narrow. But all the vehicles, the floats, are all going to go straight. There are going to be people wave them through. All the marching units are going to meet their buses. And as you go down Mechanic Street, you go to the end, you run into the street we're talking about. Yeah. And that's where the buses will meet the marches. The latest entries into the parade, the class of 2025, they're going to have about 35 to 50 seniors. They're going to carry the American flag, one of the flags that we're going to have at the ceremony on June 14th. So they're going to carry a flag, they're going to decorate a vehicle, and it's an opportunity for us to salute them, the graduating seniors. We also, our newest entry too is the Army National Guard. There are people that are responding. It gets bigger and bigger. It's not the same parade lineup that we had 5 weeks ago. It's multiplied, and that's a good thing. We're hoping that this committee can maybe be on a float, maybe a hay wagon ride at the end. It's a great opportunity to say thank you to all the residents of the town for supporting the celebration. So I hope that you folks will be available to put your costumes on and be ready to dance. Okay. Any other questions that you have of Corey? I think he's got it in control. It's going to be a giant parade, and we're excited about it. So we need some volunteers to help line it up. We got quite a few already, but we're going to need more. Okay. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report. Jeanette?
I'm going to talk in round numbers. Otherwise, I'm going to talk. To date, we have raised $361,052. Expenses so far have been $62,696. So our ending balance right now is $252,570. I've given this information to Diane so she has it. I do have a bunch of invoices that need to get in the minutes. So here we go. For the Arts and Cultural Festival, we have Stoughton Police Detail at $589. Easton Police Detail at $1,342. Signs for the festival are $730. Sweatshirts, $2,871. Mugs, $653. Twill caps for volunteers, I think that's for the parade, of $483. Additional throw blankets for the graduate. Oh. Is that a secret? No. Additional throw blankets, $644. Transportation for the historic walk, $35. Transportation for Langwater, and those are the shuttle buses from the Health and Community Services, $350. And some gift boxes and stickers and labels and postcards for the throw blanket at $156.
You need a motion?
Yes, please.
So move to approve all of the invoices that you have just read.
Motion made by Dale, seconded by Ken. All those in favor, raise your right hand. The motion is unanimously carried. And I did want to say, Jeanette, that there are some things that you mentioned. I just wanted the committee to know that we had donations towards those things like hats. People were willing to donate to help out, and so that every penny helps, no doubt about it. Secretary's report. Diane?
Same old. I monitored the P.O. box, hasn't been anything in it lately, and the email, Easton300.2025@gmail.com. That's it.
Question, Joan?
It's not about the secretary's report. I just wanted to ask a question, going back to June 14th. Do we feel we have enough parking at the high school, or are we running shuttle buses?
advised by DPW and Easton Police Department not to provide shuttles, just because we don't have the manpower or busing ability for whatever parking lot we're parked at, we can't get everybody there at the same time.
What's the capacity for parking? How many spaces do we
Not
have?
really, there's 1,000 parking spots on campus.
But some of those spots are going to be reserved for the police details and other posts and some volunteers and so forth. But one of the messaging things that we're going to try to get out through our website and through social media and so forth is letting folks know. So for those in the village, walk on over. People will be primarily parking on the surrounding streets and so forth. We're going to encourage our internal volunteers rather than using our designated volunteer parking area that for folks, for example, for the band who are coming for the flag ceremony. Let the out-of-towners use those spots close by, and the internal volunteers, committee members will try to park in the streets and just walk it in. But the police and fire and DPW have also given a lot of thought to this already in terms of where the road closures are going to be, and that'll be part of the messaging that we're going to get out, where there's no parking direction for folks. There's 3 different ways in which the cars at the end will be flowing out, and so those again are part of the things we're going to try to put out for the messaging for everybody.
Thank you, Dale. I know Ken had his hand up. I did want to mention that a little research with all the towns that have fireworks. None of them have buses or transportation. It's too big of a crowd. There could be thousands of people there. The only buses that are available would be the Council on Aging buses that bring seniors there and take them home. So we can't make any commitment, and Ken is aware of that. He's the coordinator of buses. But he also is emphasizing the fact that we need to have handicap parking.
There is handicap parking.
Yeah, we realize we're not going to do the buses, but we are asking all the people that are coming locally, if they're listening, to please be aware of the people's driveways so they can get in and out of their driveways when you're parking around the neighborhood. But all the school parking lots will be open. But what I'm recommending, because it says bringing families together, is because we're going to have a lot of handicapped people. So I just needed to know if the parking lot where we do the voting is going to be free, and we'll make that all handicapped.
So the DPW is handling the parking situation because it's on school grounds.
Yeah.
So the DPW is handling parking and no parking and all that good stuff, and they are marking off, I believe, that entire lot.
Okay, because I need to know if they're going to do that, if I can talk to somebody to get signs made for, say, for handicap parking only, because we want the handicapped people to get there, but we don't want them to have to park someplace.
My understanding is because the town of Easton is involved and is on town grounds, that the DPW is making that signage for handicap parking and no parking and all the things. So
Okay.
I believe it's handled.
Yeah, the DPW has 600 signs that are made that are going to be posted ahead of time.
All right, so we still got a whole lot of A-frame signs, we still got some spares. So I heard you talking about you wanted signs for sandwiches or something around on the site. So if somebody can touch base with me, because I got to get a hold of Al Bass, because time's going by fast for us to make the signs up, but we have all the...
But making those signs, is that as inexpensive as the little signs you stick in the ground? Like, do we need to put them on the A-frame? I don't know what the...
Well, we have all the A-frames.
I know we have the A-frames, but I don't know if it's cost effective to put back rooms on an A-frame sign. If the yard sign is $20, but the A-frame is $40 for each side.
No, it isn't. They're one-sided signs, so you'd have them at the parking lot. I can get a hold of Al, and if you can give me a call, I'll touch base with you. So I got so many people. The other thing is, too, while I've got the mic, is to let you know that the trailer for Cohena Trucking was delivered over to Al Popo's office.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what he said.
Staging for Al Provost has on his property for the band.
Oh, I didn't realize Al was the one providing.
Yeah, Al had that all set up, so it's been delivered to his property, and the stairs from the Lions Club are there, and we're going to start assembling it. We've got Dan Gurr.
But Al isn't the name that I have for the contact person for the trailer for the band.
No, I'm the one that's coordinating it. So what it is, the trailer's gonna be used for both events, and we don't have to take it apart. He's gonna allow us to keep that trailer all assembled there for this event coming up on the 14th, and then for the one that we're gonna be doing the parade. And we've got volunteers to do it, and then what I recommended is that if they needed any of the wood, they can charge it through me at Fernandes, which is just down the street.
So is Cohino Inc. the one
Yeah,
who's
right.
providing, and it's at Al's Place, that's the same trailer we're talking about?
That's correct, yep.
Okay.
The 40-foot trailer.
Okay.
So we're getting volunteers together and to assemble it for both of those events.
Thank you, Ken. And we'll get together afterwards and talk. Ken Michael, do you have any report?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me start with the historical events. On April 6th, we held an H.H. Richardson Symposium, which was a joint venture community partnership between the Ames family, Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, and the Historical Society. On the 3rd of May, we held at Stonehill a Snow White presentation, which was a community partnership between the Ames Free Library, the Easton Historical Society, and Stonehill College. We held a groundbreaking, which Dave mentioned earlier, on the 17th of May for the Tricentennial Garden, which is a community partnership between the Easton Garden Club and the Historical Society. And then also on the 17th, we had a Lions celebration of Easton's history, which the Historical Society participated in with the Lions. And that's all we have for the historical report. On the business side, we've raised approximately $421,625 in total. That includes the sale of pole banners. It includes pledges, most of which are in. There's a few still outstanding pledges. The profit on the pole banners was approximately $40,000. And that's 234 pole banners, of which 205 were paid for, and approximately 29, if my math is right. And I don't have any porta potties around to help me. So there were 29 complimentary pole banners. That's my report. Thanks.
Good report. We still have a number of banners that are going up, hopefully this week. And that should take care of it.
30 to be exact,
Yeah.
given the number of emails I've gotten recently.
I did want to ask our select board member if he has any report. I think we could table this until after the polls on terms of the time capsule. Some of us on the committee are excited about giving the time capsule once again to the Bank of Easton to put in their vault and to do it on our anniversary date, which is December 21st. Opening up, the select board are going to decide the date, and hopefully we can all attend that particular meeting and participate in it. Next item on the agenda is an update on the community calendar. Sally, you and Dale like to...
Well, it's pretty much all updated at this point. Probably a half dozen items beginning in September that I still have to get the times for. Just put a lot of items on from Ed Hands. Spent some time with him getting the details of those events. And we just got a new one today from the Raising Multicultural Kids in conjunction with the NRT. They're going to do a whole town community picnic at the NRT where you bring your own picnic lunch and gather around noon on Juneteenth. And they just asked that I put that on the calendar and get the word out. That's about it.
Very Good.
On the calendar, so the rain date is still listed for the 14th as the 15th, and that the rain date has been changed to the October 11th. So that was, if you could just make that update.
I'm sorry, it's been changed to what?
The rain date for the 14th is October 11th.
October.
Right, so the picnic is rain or shine, the Flag Day ceremony, the Flag Day celebration and the picnic is rain or shine, which all that stuff is happening, but the fireworks, if it rains, is being changed to the same day as the bonfire.
But Jessica told me that she's going to make sure there's going to be.
The weather's gonna be fantastic.
Perfect.
The bounce houses will turn to slip and slides if it's raining, it'll be great.
For the benefit of some of the members that may not be aware, we changed it to October 14th because we thought it was a way to save some money by having the bonfire and the fireworks on the same evening. It's also the same evening that the Lions Club, President Rob and his team will be putting the picnic together, the barbecue, and we thank certainly the Roach Brothers for making a healthy donation towards all the food. It'll be a free picnic. So the next item on the agenda would be our merchandise team. And not only did these two individuals agree to coordinate two events, but they also agreed to do merchandise, and I'm sure that's the toughest.
Hi. Nothing really new to report. We'll be there on June 14th. And also we will be having a satellite merchandise station here for Alex's event. That's pretty much it. We're hoping to do great.
We added, you can put it on the calendar if you want. June 13th, Friday the 13th, we are going to be over at Pops, Fine Wines and Liquors, over at, what's that called? Selling a couple of merch items for Father's Day, and bourbon tasting and beer tasting with Shoveltown. Yeah. So we'll be selling just a couple of items. We'll be selling hats and bourbon glasses, beer glasses, bottle openers, coffee mugs, and then anybody can order anything else. We can drop it off around town, or they can pick it up, or we can bring it June 14th the next day. And that's it. We're doing the blanket stuffing for the senior class tomorrow. So we're doing that during the day tomorrow, and that'll be all set for June 4th. And that really, I think, is it.
And you guys are handing out the blankets on June 4th, or how's that working?
I believe, yes, there's a group of us that will be bringing the blankets. I think, Tom, if you're around, we could use your truck and my dad's truck. We can fill them up with the boxes. And then we'll be outside, I think it's outside the auditorium, or outside the auditorium in the hallway is where we were asked to set up.
They'll be departing, it's from 7 to 9, so the seniors will be departing. So we won't be there when you get there. So we'll set up probably around 8 o'clock, get everything ready, and as they depart, that's when they want each one handed one. So, and they'll go right out the door. And we have lovely cards made that, from, Woolwork. I know how to say that.
That's easy for you to say.
It wasn't easy for me to say, it's okay. That are inserted in each blanket explaining who donated and the memory of.
Memory of women, ethnics, and seniors.
Yes.
A question. With all the beautiful banners and the large flags we have you thought about doing like maybe small flags like this for the parade for kids and people to wave during the parade? I just wondered if small flags might be something to look at with the, our logo.
We have 1,500 flags that we're passing out for the flag ceremony on Flag Day.
Well, I think about the parade on the 12th. I was thinking of the.
I think you meant the parade day.
Parade.
Yeah, we don't have any.
I think the senior was made tricentennial flags, right?
Yeah.
Not American flags.
Like the logo flags, like that, the small ones, but the size.
I mean, we can definitely, we can look to the cost.
It's a good opportunity to bring it up because Piper's here tonight. I did want to thank Ken for recruiting the donation. Today, I went to the Southeast Regional School and I brought with me the 21 blankets. The teachers are absolutely thrilled. I told them where they could buy them. The fact is that they're going to be passing them out next week. I'm talking about the regular blankets for the teachers to purchase. But they're going to pass them out on class night, and it'll be terrific. And of course, Diane, you helped deliver some.
I did. I brought two to Cardinal Spellman High School. Didn't get a photograph because it was torrential rain, not torrential. But they appreciated them and were very happy. They're very beautiful, very nice.
Okay. Thank you very much for all the things that you guys have done. Priscilla, I know you've been waiting patiently to tell us about your event.
This event is called Echoes of the Past. It's it takes place during World War II. There's songs and stories from the home front. Ann DeSanto, who we heard recently at the memorial service, will be singing and playing. There'll be other vocalists too. Let me just read some of the publicity that we have. The readings will come from this book, So Will We Meet Again, and that's a World War II promotion for war bonds. Okay? And in this book are many, many stories and letters from the members of the honor committee of the Lutheran Church here at Easton. So it's all about what was Easton like in World War II, as presented by members of this committee from the church to the servicemen and women who were serving. It's not just about those people from the Lutheran Church, but it also involves people like Leo Kent and other people, Stephen Nolan, a guy named O'Connell, certainly not members of the Lutheran Church, but the church members tried to keep it up to date so that the soldiers stationed all around the world, whether Africa or the European theater or in the Pacific, would hear about the tenor of the town, what was happening during those war years. So let me just read you a little bit here. Echoes of the Past will offer attendees a unique and moving experience featuring dramatic readings of authentic letters penned during the turbulent years of World War II. These readings will be accompanied by evocative musical selections from the era, further immersing the audience in the atmosphere and emotions of the time. Through these personal accounts and historical melodies, the event aims to transport attendees back in time, offering a glimpse into the lives and experiences of those who lived through the pivotal period in Easton's and the nation's history. And so it's going to be held in the month of November, which is Veterans Day. But instead of the 11th of November, it will be on the 22nd of November at the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church on Lincoln Street in Northeastern. It'll be at 1 p.m. And let's see. And so we need to get people involved too. We have certainly people that have been volunteered, but we need other volunteers. And how to get involved, contact Elaine Anderson Sears at 508-345-6507, or her email address is Little Owl Elaine at live.com. Little Owl Elaine at live.com. Probably won't forget that. And so Echoes of the Past is going to be a tribute to all of the veterans who sacrificed their lives and their time during this turbulent period. So we invite everybody to celebrate. Also accompanying this program will be Sebastian Mulhern's International Museum, which is a traveling World War II exhibition, and that will be in the Fellowship Hall. And afterwards, there are refreshments to celebrate the event and to celebrate the veterans of Easton, Mass. Okay, so that's November 22nd, 1 o'clock at the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. We have a question? No? One of the things I did want to mention to the committee, and I guess I'm repeating myself, but the Easton Shopper on the June 11th edition, we have a celebration on the front page, and they're going to put stuff in the middle, and they're also going to add it on some stuff the week afterwards, so we're going to get publicity there. Craig Davidson is going to be sending out a letter through the school to all of the parents that have students in the Easton schools. That's going to have the flyer for June 14th and the flyer for Parade Day, which is July 12th. So it's a little extra notice. There's no doubt in my mind that people in town know about the celebration. And when I said that last week, I ran into someone said, 300? What's that? There's still people out there that may not know. Go ahead, Ken.
Were they living in a cave?
Is that a motion? Okay.
Yes, to put them back in the cave.
A reminder about the flags. We're still we're not making a profit on it, but we're selling them for $50. How many more do we have left, you know?
I'll give you two. I'll give Linda a hand.
Okay. Anything else that anybody would like to bring up at the meeting? Go ahead, Joan.
There's a box when you come in the room here. Jessica, you're going to need those. Those are the volunteer T-shirts.
I'm gonna go through them first tomorrow with Linda, just to count out what we have left, and then do you know what your committee needs for shirts? Or not many? Okay.
Unless you want to, like, if you want everybody to be in T-shirts, they can pick them up at the volunteer check-in tent.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, if you give me like an approximate number of how many you'll need, because I think we'll probably need to order a handful more anyways, so just kind of let me know what you're looking for-ish, and I'll make sure we have them for your event. Okay, sounds good.
Good enough. Sean, any final comment you'd like to make regarding our committee?
No. It's been a tricentennial day. Some are more than others. I started the morning with it, ending the day with it, so I can't say really great things, but yeah, just general thanks. I feel like Dave thanks everyone all the time. Dave, you've done a great job keeping everyone afloat. We appreciate that on the town side, and we're looking forward to some successful events.
I didn't call on him to do that, but thank you very much. It's appreciated. Craig Lepro, you've been traveling around, getting involved in every little thing. What can you say to the community out there before we adjourn?
It's going to be a great parade. Come together. It's going to be the biggest parade Easton's ever seen, and I can't wait.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? Wait a minute, hold it. Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, on the agenda, you have listed for the next meeting, Tuesday, June 10th.
Oh, no.
June 10th
No.
is the election day for the override, and that ends at 8 o'clock at night.
I forgot to bring that up. We did change. Dale and I are planning.
They changed it.
Well, it's good that they let us know that, right?
We are planning on meeting on June 12th. We're going to meet at the oldest house in Easton
Well, we haven't received
on
that
Bay Road.
confirmation yet, but
Yeah.
that's in the works.
And we're going to have a get-together and some surprises at that meeting, so we'll keep you posted on that. But the plan is, instead of meeting at the VFW on the 10th, we're going to meet on the 12th on Bay Road. Do we have a motion to adjourn? A motion. A motion by Joan. Do we have a second? By Diane. All those in favor of adjourning, raise your right hand. Those opposed, beside Dale and myself, the motion is carried. Thank you all for being here.